we're officially nearly at the end of 2024 now. Another year has shot by, which means one thing. It's time for me to talk about my favourite albums of the year once again. So obviously it's been another great year for metal, rock, metalcore, pop punk, heavy music in general. So many great new albums, bands getting bigger and bigger, it's awesome to see. But these are the top 6 albums that really stood out to me in the last year. First up, we got Self Hell by While She Sleeps. Now this album in no way is my favourite While She Sleeps album. I actually think it's the weakest album they've released. And I know I'm not alone in that one. I know this album was quite disappointing with a lot of fans. Something was just lacking in it. I just didn't find it as enjoyable as the previous like 3-4 albums that have just been incredible in their own ways. Something was just missing in this one. We got that first single released quite a while back, Self Hell, the title track, and it took a while to grow on me, that one. Now I actually really enjoy it. I think it's just because I've played it so much, my mind just decided I like it now. But we also got Down featuring Malevolence, great song. One of the most beautiful songs Sleep's ever released, To the Flowers. Love that one, had that one on repeat all year. And obviously the banger that is Rainbows. Everyone loves Rainbows. Probably if you ask anyone their favourite song from Self Hell, it's going to be Rainbows or To the Flowers. Great songs. For the rest of it, not really a massive fan of most of the other songs on this album, unfortunately. Maybe there's a couple more standouts there that I can't really remember, but for the most part, this was a disappointing album. But because of those singles and because of how much I've listened to them this year, this had to make it into my list of favourite albums this year. Next up, got a nice controversial one for you. You either love him or you hate him. It's Popular Monster by Fallen in Reverse. Or, you know, just the Ronnie Radke show at this point. This is a very known guy in the metal and alternative community, especially these last couple of years. Obviously, he's very controversial online, says a lot of shit, replies to a lot of things, talking shit. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm not going to talk about my opinions on him or anything. I've been a fan of this band since they started, basically, you know, 2011, 2012 sort of time. They were sort of one of my starting bands when I was 16, 17, so yeah, they've got a lot of nostalgia for me, but by far, I think Popular Monster is the best album they've put out, the most creative, different. It's just everything I love in music, really. You cannot tell me there isn't an undeniable talent in the guy, in the band, their sound. It's just good. It's just fun. It's fun to listen to. He can pull off all of these different styles of music, you know, the heavy side, the more poppy rap side. We even got a country metal themed song on this album. Nearly every single song on this album is a single as well, from Bad Guys, Zombified, Voices in My Head, Watch the World Burn, obviously Popular Monster, Ronald, All My Life. It's just so many great songs, and I cannot help but addictively listen to them on repeat. Next up, I've got Stigma by Wage War. Now, the first single that came out for this album, I was not a fan of, Magnetic. It was, again, another change in sound for this band. A lot softer, you know, people are calling it Nickelback, you know, the usual comments of angry metal fans, just calling anything that isn't heavy gets called Nickelback, doesn't it? It's just a meme now in the metal scene. Then we got the release of the other singles, Nail 5, Tombstone, and Blur, one of my favourite Wage War songs ever now, and the rest of the album as well. It's just metalcore bangers through and through, and that is exactly what I love in an album. Just this new era metalcore, alternative rock. It's a great thing, and I know that a lot of bands are doing it these days, some better than others, and I encourage anyone who's a fan of Wage War to give it a listen if you haven't already. Give it a chance. There's probably something in there that everyone will like. Next, we've got Neck Deep by Neck Deep. This is an incredible pop-punk album. I'm a massive fan of it. Absolutely love Neck Deep anyway, but this album just delivers more and more of those neck-deep pop-punk. I know I've said bangers a lot, but it's bangers. It's pop-punk bangers. I don't want to keep saying the same things, but energetic, enjoyable. You know, if you want some feel-good pop-punk music, my God, are they good at making these enjoyable, feel-good songs. While I love all this heavy, screamy, sometimes quite depressing stuff, I'm also a sucker for the pop-punk, feel-good energy songs, and they just do so much of it on this album with Dumbstruck Dumbfoot, It Won't Be Like This Forever, Take Me With You, Heartbreak of the Century, the lead single on this album. They're such a cool band. I had a massively close relationship to them in lockdown 2020 sort of time, really got into their last album, and I'm just so glad that I love this one almost as much, maybe even more, to be honest. I think this is definitely one of the best Neck Deep albums out there. Just completely feel-good music. Well done, Neck Deep, for that one. Alright, we're on to the final two with NextGen, Bring Me the Horizon. I don't know if you guys know this, but I consider myself somewhat of a fan of Bring Me the Horizon. You might say I enjoy listening to them from time to time. You might not have heard of them. They're a small band from Sheffield, played a bit of deathcore for a bit, then just blew up into the pop rock, alt rock, mainstream scene. They have done basically everything at this point, and NextGen is just more of that. It's basically everything. Again, some of the strongest singles the band have ever released, with Kool-Aid, Lost, Amen, Die For You, Strangers, Dark Side, Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood even. There are so many great songs on this album. Limousine, Utopia, Dig It, R.I.P. My God, I love this album. It absolutely deserves to be the album of the year as well. The band have been non-stop touring with this one. It's been a massive success. I've always loved Ollie and the band's ability to be insanely creative. And this one was also a big test because Jordan Fish obviously left the band late last year. I don't think Dark Side or Kool-Aid had been released yet, so those songs were a real test to see what the band sounded like without the influence of Jordan Fish, which was a massive part of the band's previous stuff for the last over 10 years. You can just completely see that Ollie is smashing it on his own without Jordan. As much as we all miss Jordan, it's nice to see that they can still do it, they can still pull it off. The heavy parts are heavier than ever, the pop alt-rock parts are poppier than ever. It fits so well. They are one of these bands that can just pull anything off, and that is why they're one of the best, most successful bands in the world right now, and why they're gonna probably continue to take one of those top spots in the rock scene for many years to come. Alright, and finally, one that I would never have expected to be put in my list of favourite albums of the year. If you told me that this was going to happen, at the start of 2024, I would have been like, what? Huh? There's no way. Linkin Park came back this year. That still sort of blows my mind when I actually think about it, even though a few months have passed now since it happened. This is their first official new music since 2017, and it's great. I'm now a massive fan of From Zero and Emily Armstrong. She's incredible. The bands sound great. I was really skeptical at first when they first did that live stream concert when Emily came out on stage for the first time, and we heard some of the old songs being played by her, being sung by her. It just didn't really work for me. I wasn't really sure how I felt at the time in that moment. But then we got the release of the singles, The Emptiness Machine and Heavy as the Crown especially. Insane songs. Absolute just bangers, Linkin Park bangers. Emily fits so well, the band sound incredible over each other. And Two-Faced, again, great songs. Two-Faced is another one of my favourite songs on the album. Try and enjoy these new songs for what they are. It's never going to be Chester. She's not trying to be Chester. But saying that, she can absolutely deliver these screamy, harsh vocals and these beautiful, clean vocals as well, just like he did. She's doing it well, and it works really well. Cannot wait to see them for the first time ever next year in London as well. I've got my ticket already. It's going to be insane. Since I never got the chance to see them live with Chester, I'll regret that for the rest of my life. I'll miss him forever, don't get me wrong, but I'm so glad that the band are back making music again. They deserve to be happy. They deserve the success. So even though it's only just come out in the last few months of the year, From Zero is definitely one of my favourite albums of 2024. Alright, and that's it. My 6 favourite albums of 2024. Please feel free to let me know what yours are. It really has been a great year for music. Yes, I just wanted to end this video by saying thank you, I guess, really. This will most likely be my last video of the year. Obviously, the Dillcam did turn 10 years old earlier this year. I made a whole video for that, did a whole thing for that. It meant a lot to me, that one. It's my little achievement in life. It's a little milestone, so thank you for all the support until then and after as well. Obviously, we had Download, Slam Dunk, Tenerife vlog, Bring Me the Horizon concert vlog. It's been a good year for some big, memorable events that I'll never forget, to be honest, and I'm so glad that I've got them all on this channel, that you all got to live them with me. And of course, next year I'll continue to talk about Download Festival, all things Download related, you know, the lineup, anything else going on to do with it. You know, that's the main thing we do on here. Cannot wait for all that to happen next year. I've got Christmas to go through first. I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. It's going to be nice to spend some time relaxing, family, food, you know, all the good stuff. Yeah, Merry Christmas from me. Happy New Year. Hope you all have a real good one, and I'll see you in 2025.